Hey, so what you're going to learn in this vlog is how to start the fat loss phase, and I've just started that, and what I've done to start my fat loss phase, and then you can implement it on you if you want to do that. You're also going to learn a little bit about progressive overload and how to use it to actually make gains in the gym and lift properly, and I'll go through the basics of that. So first of all, I'm going to come over here and show you what has actually happened. So a little diagram here, we've got time across the bottom, we've got calories up the top. I know from the last, I track my calories on MyFitnessPal, as you know, and I know that last week I ate 3,300 calories every single day, and my weight stayed the same. I also know the activity. I'm going to take you into the other room in a minute and show you that. So to start the fat loss phase, I'm literally going to take away 10% of the calories and eat about 3,000 calories every single day. So what will happen is my weight will drop week 2, which is what you'll see next week. I have been in the lean muscle gain phase, which of course means fat gain comes as well, eating around about 3,400 maybe every day, and I gained over a 2.5 year period a lot of weight. It was all good quality weight, and I gained a lot of muscle in the meanwhile. So I'm going to bring up on the screen during this little chat various pictures from when I competed in 2012, 2014, and you can see the difference between the gains I made, and it's important to actually gain some fat to be able to gain the proper amount of muscle regardless of your goal. So what I'm going to do now is take you through to my bedroom. So in here I have on the wall, it's like my own personal accountability board. So it's now Monday. Last week my average weight was 201. I then ate 3,300 calories, and it was 201 again while training 5 days per week and while doing abs 2 times per week, and that was it. So what I'm doing this week is I'm doing that again. I'm adding some low intensity steady state cardio at 500. I'll use a Fitbit to track that on my wrist. The Fitbit isn't accurate, but it will give me a good number to go by. So if I don't lose weight, I can then add to that number. I mean, it might be 250 calories, I don't know, because they're not very accurate. I'm going to do some barbell complexes, maybe track that on the Fitbit at 300 calories. That's supposed to be twice per week. I haven't wrote twice, I need to write that. 2. And then this week's average, today's weigh-in was 202. So what I simply do is every day I write my weights here, and then I times by how many I managed to get, divide by however many there was, and get my average weight. My average weight will go here next week. So what do I want to lose, and how much do I want this number to be? So this is in pounds, by the way. I want that number to be about 1% loss. So I want it to be around about 198, 199. So if it's not that, I'll be doing something different to change my calories and see what I need to do next week. So you can follow along and see what happens. So I'll best show you how I look with my top off. So nothing special to see, but what you get here is normally in the health and fitness industry, everybody hides the off-season bit and doesn't show you what actually happens in the off-season in bodybuilding. So I'm going to show you how I look. I look in average shape for the general population, but for bodybuilding terms, I'm nowhere near stage ready, obviously. But during that time, I've gained a hell of a lot of muscle. I've made a lot of gains, and I've enjoyed the process. Lifted a lot more weights. So let's show you what I look like. Where's my phone? Hey Siri, what date is it?
It's Monday, the 21st of November 2016.
21st of November 2016. just very quickly threw myself together a quick meal before I go and train legs. So when I get there, I'll show you how I do progressive overload. So here we go, I'm going to talk you through a little bit of my training and progressive overload and what the hell's going on here. So as you can see, I'm looking at my phone, and what I'm doing is I'm making sure that I'm following my training week to week and adding reps. So normally with legs, I'll do a proper training vlog at some point, but normally with legs I start with machines just to make sure I'm getting the blood in there and making sure I'm not going to pull anything when I do the big compound movements. So as you can see here, I'm making sure I'm fully extending at the end of the movement. So due to the operation, I've been using something called blood flow or occlusion training. I don't want to recommend doing this. I'd get you to YouTube it or Google it somewhere else. I found it from Lane Norton. You might want to look at that. But basically the idea is it creates metabolic fatigue. It makes your muscles think that they are being used to lift heavy weights. So I'm hardly lifting anything here on my calves, but they're getting a good workout. So basically I keep the blood in there. It's quite painful, so I wouldn't highly recommend it. But anyway, I usually do a lot of this foam rolling. Again, I'll go into detail on this on another vlog, but basically I'm just like releasing the muscles and getting rid of any tight spots. And I'll go through like a full stretching mobility regime, as you can see here from my lower back. So I've got a lot of physio to do here, and I'm stretching my ankle using voodoo bands. It's basically enabling the ligaments to be stretched a lot better. Throughout my whole workout I stretch, in fact, so I'm doing more stretching here. So I'm over on the leg press, and this week I was happy to know that I finally got back to the weights I was doing before the operation. So I'm only 4 weeks post-operation now. I've done a lot of physio 3-4 times a day, which was really difficult, and getting my legs back up to strength was good. So I think I'm at 300 kilogram here, or 270. It's my warm-up set. Just speed it up a little bit to let you not get bored by the quantity of reps. So basically I move up to 300 on this set. I'm doing, I think it's 5 sets of 300. For some reason I got a bit of a crowd around me during this day, just before I did a set. People thinking I wasn't going to be able to do it, but what we've got to remember is I've been doing this for 10 years or something like that now. So if you can imagine, I add on 2.5 kilogram every few months for 10 years, then you get to some pretty heavy weights. But for me, because of the quantity of time I have actually been lifting, it's not actually that much weight in comparison. So moved over to deadlifts. I've been struggling here because a lot of the weight goes through my ankle. I can't squat at all yet. I'm doing around about 60 kilogram squats compared to about 160, 180 I was doing before. So yeah, speed it up again just to go through the reps, but I'm doing very high reps here again, so I'm not putting too much weight through my ankles, or my one ankle. And of course I'm doing sumo. So yeah, that's my training, and I'll do a proper vlog on training pretty soon. I'm just back from the gym. My Fitbit tells me I've done 400, let's see if you can see it, 429 calories. So I'm just I can't even speak for a second because I've got a meeting that I've got to go to now. Quick shower, get changed and go. But when I come back, I'm going to tell you why that is irrelevant. So now I'm looking all smart, got a suit on, head into an event. Best to hide my camera so it doesn't get wet then. Got smart deluxe. So we're on the way to introduce Empowered by Eating to the Institute of Directors in Liverpool. Should be a good meeting.
on the right hand side.
Yeah.
That's the car park area. And it's 5 mile an hour, please, with your hazards up.
Yeah.
On Snapchat. Right. Oh, you're doing 11 kilometers an hour. So yeah, the meeting was for the Institute of Directors, where we kind of introduced Empowered by Eating to them and the people there, because we're trying to interject it into large corporations. Because of course, if corporations give it to their staff are going to have better productivity and less sick days and things like that. So that was the essence of the meeting, and we potentially got a few solicitors, big corporation solicitors involved, where they will be paying for their staff to be members on the Empowered by Eating website and learn, in essence, how to eat properly in this crazy, confusing day and age. So that was the essence of the meeting. And just to finish off the talk on the Fitbit and why it's kind of irrelevant. So there's a lot of studies behind the Fitbit, not necessarily the Fitbit, but any kind of trackable device. It's not 100% accurate, which means if it's not 100% accurate, that 400 or 500 or whatever it is that you do during your workout could in essence be, I think it was 50% out is what I've seen in a couple of the studies. It could be 250, it could be 750, but it does give some sort of number. So when I do the cardio, or when I do the lifting side of things, when I do the exercise that needs to be measured, for example, the cardio, the barbell complexes, which I'll show you later on in this week, things like that, I can then have a number. So let's say I do 300 calories barbell complexes and I don't lose weight. The calories used throughout the entire week, so I've ate 3,000 every day, times that by 7. So in essence, I'm eating 2,100 calories for the entire week. And let's say I burn with the gym, with the Fitbit tracked X. I'm not going to say how much it is because I don't really know until the end of the week. But let's say I burn X, but I've tracked most of it. So that means I don't need to know how many calories I'm using per training session because I track my training. I don't need to know what I'm using just to walk around because it's pretty much consistent. So it's about consistency. So at the end of the week, I will have used so much energy for training, so much energy eaten with food. That will then balance out, and in essence, if I don't lose weight, I can then either take away food or add exercise.